Hi everybody, welcome to Just German Things. My name is Nandini and I am an Indian girl living in Germany. If you already know me through Instagram, you know that I make videos on life in Germany, German language, jobs, educations in Germany, and travel across Europe. So I'm sure a lot of you already know that I'm also a German teacher by profession. That's the reason I make a lot of German language content. So if you're here for German language, then this video is going to be really helpful for you because today's video is going to be about B1 Sprechen. So if you're living in Germany, or let's say if you're living in any other country, there will be a time when you have to write B1 exam for, let's say, for getting citizenship, for PR, for job opportunities, or just for out of interest. So a lot of students have problem here when they have to actually go for B1 exam because they are really good at lesen, hören und schreiben. But Sprechen is something where they lack confidence because of very less speaking practice. So I'm going to help you in this video with all the tips that you need to clear B1 Sprechen. So let's go. So before I start explaining all the tips and all the things that you need to know for B1 Sprechen exam, I want to tell you a major difference between two types of B1 exam. One is a Goethe Institute and one is a Telc. So this video is about Telc. So because in Germany, a lot of students actually opt for, a lot of people actually opt for Telc because they don't have to do presentation. So the only difference between Telc and Goethe Institute Sprechen is the Teil 2. So Teil 2 in Telc is where you have to do, you have to talk about a topic, but Goethe Institute, you have to do a presentation. So if you're interested in presentation, then I will make a separate video for this, but today's video is going to be about Telc B1. So first part, Teil 1, it's about einander kennenlernen. So to get to know each other. So that's the most simple part. It's very easy to get full marks in Teil 1 because a lot of things you would already be practicing. So there is nothing new for you because you're going to ask introductory questions to your partner. For that, you have a list of words that you can use. For example, Name, so wie heißt du oder wie heißen Sie? Dann woher sie oder er kommt. So woher kommst du oder woher kommen Sie? So answer would be ich komme aus, Ich komme aus Indien. Something about your Wohnsituation. Zum Beispiel, wie sie oder er wohnt. So, hast du eine Wohnung? Wohnst du in einem Haus? Hat deine Wohnung oder hat dein Haus einen Garten? So, ja, mein Haus hat einen Garten. So something about your house that you have to talk about. Then the third part would be über Familie. Wohnst du mit deiner Familie oder wohnst du alleine? So ja, ich wohne mit meiner Familie. So something about your family that you have to talk about. Then something about your education. For example, was hast du studiert? Ich habe studiert. Ich habe an der Universität studiert. So something that you have already studied or you are studying. Ich studiere zurzeit an der University. You can say the name of the university now. Or let's say something about languages. Welche Sprachen sprechen Sie? Oder welche Sprachen sprichst du? Ich spreche 4 Sprachen, nämlich Englisch, Deutsch, Hindi und Sanskrit. So kann man über die Sprachen sprechen. So you see the Thai lines is really easy here. You don't have to do much. You can easily do this one without much practice. And most of the times these are the questions that you have to answer. So these are not the only questions. You can of course choose to ask other questions to your partner, for example, about the hobbies. Was sind deine oder ihre Hobbys? So meine Hobbys sind Radfahren, Bücher lesen und reisen. Yeah? Or something about weekend. Was machst du am Wochenende? Ich gehe Radfahren am Wochenende. So there are extra questions that you can choose to ask your partner and they would be very general, so you don't have to worry about Thai lines at all. So guys, before we go ahead, I want to share something with you. So there is something recently I invested in because you know life abroad is not easy when you have to do full-time job, do the household chores, and plus creating this meaningful content for you. This also takes so much time. So I invested in this amazing Rotimatic machine and I want to share my review with you here. DMs related to it, like people want to buy but they're not sure because they wanted to know how is my experience. So I thought let's wait for some time and see. So it's been already 1 month since I've been using it, and to be honest, that's my honest review. Personally, I'm very satisfied with the kind of rotis this machine makes, because there are times when I have no time to make my dinner. I'm working full time. I have content creation job, and there's nobody living abroad. There's nobody to help you around. So on those days, this is definitely a savior because I make a quick sabzi, and the rotis are freshly made by this machine. And the taste also is very nice because it's thin, crisp, and so much like what we have in our kitchen. So I'm personally very happy, and I decided to buy it because some of my friends already have it and they are using it since 3 years. So I definitely give a thumbs up to this machine, and this is my new best friend now. So let's come to the Teil 2 because I think you need more help and guidance in Teil 2 in B1 Telc. In Teil 2 sprecht ihr über ein Thema. So in Teil 2, you will be talking about a topic. So if that means you will be given a text, you have to read the text, what that person is saying. You have to tell the partner what is written in the text. You don't have to just read out the text. You have to pick up the important information from the text, and then you have to tell your views. You have to give your views. So let me give you an example for that. This is your, let's say this is your Aufgabe. So you have got a topic where somebody in this example, Gruppenreisen. So Gruppenreisen, this is this girl who says that she loves to travel in a group, and she has given reasons why she loves to travel in a group. Your partner has a different Aufgabe, which means your partner has a different article from a Zeitschrift, from a magazine. This is about another person now. This person doesn't like to travel in group. So let's say this person says, I want to travel alone. This is something I find better, and he has got reasons. So as you can see, in both the cases, the topic remains same, but just the opinions are different. If somebody, for example, in this case, in favor of Gruppenreisen, so in favor of group travel, the other person is favor of traveling alone. You have to tell your partner what is the important information from your article that you have read. While doing Teil 2, you have to keep in mind these 3 points. The first is you talk about the topic. You talk to each other about the topic. The second is you give your own opinion. And the third is you talk about your experiences. So before you actually start talking about it, the first thing that you should do is read it properly and underline all the keywords, important words, which you think you should be there when you're talking or telling your partner about it. So these keywords, which are called Schlüsselwörter, these are very important. For example, if you read this text, there will be many important keywords in this text, like Alleine reisen macht mir keinen Spaß. So that's something maybe you want to talk about. The second thing is, what are the advantages of traveling in a group? So she gives 2 points here. The first is neue Leute kennenlernen. So man kann neue Leute kennenlernen. The second point is man hat immer Gesellschaft. So you always have a company. So there are 2 points. And then she also talks about the advantage of having a Reiseführer. So a Reiseführer, who is a travel guide, can show you around. So you see here 2-3 important information that we need to cover when we are telling our partner what did we read in this article. How can you do that? For that you definitely need Redemittel. Was sind Redemittel? So Redemittel are these phrases that you would need in many of the situations, and then they can help you talk about something. For example, in this case, that's how we can talk. In meinem Text geht es eine Frau, die 33 Jahre alt ist und gerne in Gruppen verreist. So now you gave an introduction. This is the Frau who is 33 years old and she loves to travel in group. The second thing, sie mag Gruppenreisen, weil, now you can talk about these 2 points. Sie mag Gruppenreisen, weil sie neue Leute kennenlernen kann und immer Gesellschaft hat. So you already gave 2 reasons why she loves it. So when you want to give extra information, now you can also say, for example, start with außerdem. So this is the additional, apart from that. So außerdem findet sie auch gut, dass ein Reiseführer ihr die Sehenswürdigkeiten zeigen kann. So die Sehenswürdigkeiten, sightseeing places, also likes. So that's how you have talked about the entire text without missing any important information. So you must have noticed here that I did not read out the text. I did not read out and said. I just picked out the important information and used my own words to talk about it. So when you're doing tiles Y, this is very important that you don't read out. Please focus on the keywords, Schlüsselwörter, and please do it in your own eye. You remember I told you three things that you have to talk about. So the first is when you talk about your text, what is there in your text, and the second thing is über meine Meinung sprechen. So when you talk about your own opinion, for that also you need 2 to 3 points. For example, so when you talk about your opinion, like for example, you say this is something I like, and that's the reason. Then you ask the other person, was meinst du? Oder was denkst du? Reist du auch gerne alleine? And the other person has the choice to accept, or let's say has maybe another opinion. Then person can say, ich sehe das anders, oder ich sehe das ein bisschen anders, oder ich bin ganz anderer Meinung, ich stimme dir nicht zu. Ich finde Gruppenreisen viel besser als alleine reisen, weil ich sehr gerne neue Leute kennenlernen möchte. So the third point where you have to talk about your own experiences, that's how you can say. Aus meiner Erfahrung kann ich sagen, dass Gruppenreisen viel besser und viel interessanter als alleine reisen sind. Oder ich bin noch nie alleine gereist. Ich habe immer Gruppenreisen gemacht und das finde ich viel spannender. So that's how you talk about your experiences again in 2 to 3 sentences. So you see that you don't have to talk much, but whatever you are saying should make sense and should be up to the point. Now let's come to Teil 3. So gemeinsam etwas planen. When you plan something together and then you come to a conclusion, like what are you doing, when are you doing, how are you doing it. So a plan that needs to be executed, and this is the time to actually do the discussion. So as you can see here, Teil 3, here is eine Aufgabe. So there are list of points, things that you have to talk about, and both of the partners will get the same Aufgabe. So this is not about opinion at all now. This is about planning something together. So it's very important that you talk about each of these points. For example, here, if you read the Aufgabe, here it is about that you are planning a party, eine Abschiedsparty, a farewell party for some of the Germans that you got to know or during a trip. So you want to throw a party for them. So you and your partner are deciding about everything about the party now. For example, when should be the party? Where should it be? What about the food? What about the drinks? Who is paying for it? So all these things that you have to cover. So make sure you don't miss any of these points, because it really matters if you have covered all the points or not. But for this style rise, something that you would need a lot would be again a list of Redemittel. So I'm sharing here a list of Redemittel with you with 4 different categories. The first is Vorschläge machen, when you suggest something. Vorschläge zustimmen, when you accept a suggestion. Then Vorschläge ablehnen, when you reject something because you have another plan. And then Gegenvorschläge machen. So it's like a counter suggestion to something. For example, how can we suggest something? Sollen wir diese Party in meinem Garten machen? And the other person says, ja, das ist eine gute Idee. So that's how you're accepting it. And now if you want to reject, you can say, nein, das ist keine gute Idee. Ich würde lieber, so I would love to do it, I would rather do it somewhere else. So ich würde lieber das in einem Restaurant machen. Oder ich würde lieber diese Party in einem Restaurant machen. So when you're saying ich würde lieber, so that's like a Gegenvorschlag. So this is a counter suggestion. You didn't like the idea and you are giving your own idea after that. So when you're doing the Teil 3, please make sure that you use all these Redemittel and then you talk about all these topics with the help of these Redemittel, and that's enough for Teil 3 for you. Now in most of the situations you can also have somewhere like a situation for Teil 3 where you have to find a gemeinsamen Termin, so an appointment where you both are free. So for that also you need Redemittel, and I can also share that with you so that you know how to use these. For example, nein, da habe ich leider keine Zeit. Am Samstag habe ich leider keine Zeit. Können wir lieber das am Sonntag machen? Oder ich habe um 14 Uhr etwas Wichtiges. So, ich kann um 14 Uhr morgen nicht. So then also you're talking about your availability. So for that also you need Redemittel, and I have shared all these Redemittel with you so that you can use in your Sprechen Teil 3. So that was all about Teil 3. Remember, you need not fancy sentences, you just need correct Redemittel and how to use them in the context that is important for you. So that was all about Teil 3, and that was all about Telc B1 Sprechen. So you can see it's not really difficult. You don't have to speak so much. Your Sprechanteil, your speaking part would be like 7 to 8 sentences, let's say. But it's important that you know the right strategies, you know how to actually clear it. So I hope this video has helped you. You can always watch this video before you have your exam. You can practice this and then you will feel much more prepared. So that was all about today's video. If you want to know more, if you have any more special requests for the next upcoming videos, you can definitely write in the comments and I will consider making a video on that topic. Ich wünsche euch viel Glück und viel Erfolg. And yeah, see you next time. So that was all for today. Auf Wiedersehen, Tschüss und Namaste.